Welcome all to the International Women's Day celebration. Yesterday, as I was putting together what I wanted to say today for our event, I came across a website that gave some facts. Now, some of these things that they stated we already know, such as the date of Women's International Women's Day being March 8th. They also stated that February 28th in 1909 is when they first basically celebrated International Women's Day. They also stated some facts where they mentioned, 28 girls a minute are being forced into marry against their will. They mentioned women are still not in leadership positions. Women can't open bank accounts in like 72 countries. But what really stood out is something related to the theme of this event, which is taking care of our well-being. And it says, 1 in 10 women have self-harmed because of their body image. That's a lot. 1 in 10, you think about it. According to a study by the Mental Health Foundation, some women have felt so bad about their appearance that they have self-harm. And this really started, make me think. First, I was like, oh, wow, that's a lot. But I was like, wait, have I also been in that situation? But not really self-harmed. But I remember as a child, my lips, I was mocked. My lips are too big. And I didn't like my lips. So I spent the time trying to figure out how to make it smaller. And I used to rub it together, hoping by some miracle that it would become smaller. My nose, I didn't like it. And I used to press it together, hoping for some reason it would look better or what is standard. My height was a problem. They made fun of me. They called me overgrown. I thought that was an issue. I'm 5'7", but sometimes actually in heels or whatever, I look like 5'9", 5'10". But I walk and create this hump because if I did that in my head, I would look shorter. And I remember around 15 years of age, a neighbor said to me, Neva, why do you walk like that? And I was like, what? He said, you're very beautiful. And I was like, he said, you need to walk up straight. And that day, I realized what I was doing. And now my height is to my advantage. And then my complexion, even in college, I wonder if I was a little lighter, would things be better for me? And last, my derriere. But then I thought it was bigger. So I used to, try to make it smaller. But actually what I was doing was an exercise, which was good. But now that's work for me. So in all that I've said, let me reintroduce myself. I'm Dr. Neva Helena Alexander. I'm the owner of Neva Lines, where we offer entrepreneurship programs, corporate training, and professional licensing courses. I also have a nonprofit, National Educational Adventure Alliance. And each year we have the International Women's Day celebration in where we use the celebration to support the nonprofits. The nonprofit, we basically work with high school students to get them into colleges locally and internationally. I do have hashtags, and my hashtags that I use are International Babe, World Citizen, Globetrotter, Speaker, Trainer, Educator, Author. I have 3 books, 2 on leadership, and 1 recently published, Steps Towards Entrepreneurship. So As we move through our celebration, I believe our speakers will motivate you to take care of your well-being. Thank you for being a part of this celebration today.
Let's give our Dr. Neva a round of applause, and thank you for such empowering words. And it is very important, self-image. And, you know, I wanted to make fun of it a little bit, but not in that sense. Now, a lot of the things you're talking about right there, market price, you have to pay a lot of money to get those injectable and the lips and the butts and so on, right? You know, fast forwarding a little bit. So it's important that we empower each other and empower ourselves. I also grabbed a copy of her book. You know, I try to support my fellow women entrepreneur wherever I can. You know, I'll have it donated. So everyone, make sure you support, whether it's the non-for-profit or so. So moving right along, we'll get into our next presenter. Actually, I want to ask really quickly, it's breaking the bias, and based on what Dr. Neva just shared, let's do everyone who's here just in the chat room, what is one thing for this year that you will contribute to breaking down the biases, right? So you can put that in the chat room. Our speaker we're going to start with is Donna Marie Douglas, who's an accomplished professional with years of experience in administrative experience in HR resources, school administration, management, and leadership. She's currently the Senior Director of Operations at the Academy Charter School, an institution to which she has contributed significantly to its growth and its development throughout the years. Donna is going to share with us and talk to us about positive self-talk. And what a way, Neva, to start out. That really goes right into the next, you know, our next speaker. Donna, welcome.
Thank you. And good evening to all our guests and all our fellow speakers here. Let me first thank our host for the event, Dr. Neva, a real good friend of mine. Neva is the person who is always looking for ways to add value to others. And Neva, thank you for putting this event together. I'm honored to be asked to join all the other speakers here today. So happy Women's Day to all our guests that are women and to all our women speakers. Most of us have been taught the importance of being kind to other people. We learned that we need to think before we speak and to live by the golden rule of treating other people the way we want to be treated. But did anyone ever teach you to be kind in the way you speak to yourself? Think for a moment. Did anyone ever teach you that? Most of us never had someone to put us down and to say, be careful how you speak to yourself in the quiet moments, in the lonely nights when you're alone and no one is there, when you're going through your struggles. No one ever said, be careful what you say to yourself in those moments. While we engage in self-talk, the internal dialogue you have with yourself about yourself, that's self-talk. It's a combination of the conscious and unconscious thoughts. So we often pay not much attention to how we're doing it and what we're saying, but we need to be intentional in practicing positive self-talk. It is so important. Oftentimes we do some things and we say, wow, I'm so stupid. Really? Are you? Are you? Am I? No, we're not. Think about all the things we have done that we should be proud of. But one thing happens and the talk we give to ourselves just really get us depressed. Negative self-talk has a number of harmful effects, including low self-esteem, poor performance on tasks, and increased anxiety. You see, when we tell ourselves that we're stupid and that we're no good, we feel ourselves shrinking, don't we? We shrink. Instead of putting our shoulders back and standing tall, we shrink. Ladies, let's be careful what we're saying to ourselves. Let's be careful. If you're struggling with an assignment, you think, this isn't hard for anyone else. Why is it so hard for me? What's wrong with me? Why don't we say what's right? What did I do right yesterday? Let's be careful. So I'd like to tell you this evening that there are just 4 things we need to do when it comes to our self-talk. We need to notice what we say to ourselves. Most of us don't really pay attention to our self-thoughts. So I ask of you today to make an effort to notice your self-thoughts, whether they're positive or they're negative. Keep a list. Ask someone to be your support. Did you hear me say something silly about myself? And the amazing thing about this is that there are times when we tell other people that we're stupid. Really? We ought to be so careful about that. Then we need to analyze our self-talk, our thoughts. Let's analyze them. Check the facts. If you have a thought like, I never did anything right, stop and ask yourself, is that really true? Think of all you've accomplished through your life until now, ladies. Just think. Think of the things you have done right. Another example, no one ever wants to hang with me. Think about the times, the quality times you've spent with friends and families. Let's check ourselves. Let's think thoughts that uplift us. The next thing, let's identify and learn from our self-talk. It's a growth mindset. We realize our thoughts are telling us something about what we need. Identify what emotions you're feeling and whether you need to attend to that emotion before you can be successful. Ask yourself, what is this thought telling me about what I need? In the early example about us struggling maybe with an assignment, the negative self-talk might be telling us we need to get help with an assignment. Why not buddy with a classmate? Why not talk to a friend? I'm having a challenge here. Can you help me? But again, as women, asking for help, one of the things we don't like to do. But I'm encouraging you, identify what it is that you need help with so your thought process can be different. Take the time to think also what you might do differently to help you to be more successful. If we think of moving forward successfully, then we don't really get the chance to be negative and to dumb ourselves down. So identify and learn what you need to learn from your self-talk. How about refraining your self-talk? Using what you have learned after you have looked and you have checked and identified, and try refraining your negative thoughts. Turn them into positive ones. For example, I'm stupid at math. It could become, I'm really struggling with this particular assignment and deserve to get someone to help me. Now you can put your shoulders back because you're going to take a step to help yourself. Another example you can add is your negative thought. I'm lonely all the time becomes I'm so lonely all the time. For now, I'm going through a process. For now, I have a friend who says, I don't have money now. I can't afford this now. It's not that I'm broke. Every day I'm broke. No, I can't afford this now. That puts you in the mindset that someday you will be able to afford it. That's what that does. It changes your psyche and you think differently. Your emotions will now play a different role because you're looking forward to the day when you can. Be thankful for what you have now and look forward to what you will have in the future. And let's be balanced with it. Now that you're practicing and noticing your negative thoughts, you can say to yourself and be intentional about adding praise. Like I just said, be thankful. Teach your brain to be thankful for what you have, rather than always focusing on what we don't have. You can outnumber your self-talk with positive ones. And like I said before, you should surround yourself with people who will be able to help you when you're in a situation like this. I was heartbroken a couple of weeks ago when we heard of the young lady who committed suicide in New York City that jumped from that building. And I thought to myself, the thoughts that must have been going through her mind for an extended period of time to drive her to this. And then again, the point of us being women, not willing to ask for help because we have to be strong. Who said we had to be strong all the time? We have been fooled into believing that all the time we have to be strong, so we shouldn't ask for help. And so my heart broke for her. And I'm reaching deep within me to see if I have people around who will be going through that same thing. Suicide is on their mind, but no one will be there to help because they never asked for help. Ladies, let's change our thought process. Let's seek the help that we need to seek so we can be better. And think about it. Let not just say words that are affirmations and leave them. Let's make declarations when we are in situations like that. Let's say that we are supported. I'm a warrior. I'm supported. I'm a warrior. I'm strong. I'm a warrior. I have a support system. And as we go through life, let's not just be thinking about ourselves, but let our eyes be open so we can hear when others have negative self-talk and reach out and help, extend ourselves. So together, as a mighty army of women, we can take this world by force and we can do what is required of us. Your mothers, your wives, your sisters, your aunts, and you have a lot riding on you. The world needs you to be strong, to be positive. So together, like I said a couple of years ago, when sleeping women awake, giants and mountains are moved. We can do great things. We are called to do great things. We are women. We are women. Our thought process, we are going to take it on. We're going to realize we can become better because we're going to be intentional about our thoughts. So go forth from today thinking, what am I really thinking? Why did I say that about myself? Why? Let's be better. We can do better. We're called to be better. Go for it positively, intentionally creating positive mindsets. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to me. And I'm hoping you're walking away determined that you can and will be who you were created to be. Thanks again.
Wow, let's give some hand claps and some hearts and some fire and some tell us some of the stuff we love here in the room that we took away. I mean, I think one of the most important thing for me, and I always repeat it in anything that I do, is what Donna shared is, have accountability partners, reach out to others. They're there for you. It is so important. There's no shame in asking for help. There are different people. Sometimes it's not the right fit, but there's always someone there who's willing to help and to share some very powerful words. Be kind to ourselves, right? I think it's so hard often to be able to do that. And I think it's such an important message for us to hear. Thank you again, Donna, for sharing and dropping those nuggets with us. All right. So I think in the chat, what I want you to drop is one thing that you are proud of, right? So just put that in the chat, everybody. Just drop in there one thing you're proud of. As we are going through, our next speaker is Sharon Webb Richards. Sharon Lady B. Webb Richards is a licensed holistic coach with a special focus on helping you bring back the healthy you. She's also the co-owner of Ana Spa Boutique Incorporated. For years, she has helped thousands of people to eat healthier, think positively, and exercise for a better, healthier life. Today, she will talk to us, or she's going to do an exercise with us, Circle of Life. Let's welcome our next guest.
Before she goes on, Dr. G, I would like to basically thank our partners, right? So
sure, fine.
yes. Dr. G being one of our partners, thank you so much. And thank you for your donation to National Educational Venture Alliance. We also have another partner here today, Miss Sandra McCarthy, and I would have her just speak for a few seconds, and then we'll have the lovely Sharon speak.
Thank you so much, Dr. Neva. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy International Women's Day. I am the co-founder of Caribbean Business Connections, otherwise known as CBC, and that's a business networking platform that Hanif, Russell, and I created 10 years ago. It was created for people of Caribbean descent to network, to share resources, and to do business with each other. 10 years later, we have 30% membership who are not of Caribbean descent because we have become an important gateway into the Caribbean diaspora and the Caribbean countries. So business owners from all ethnic groups see CBC as a great resource and a great platform. Our slogan is making connections that matter, and we work diligently to ensure that our members are growing their business using the CBC network. We have our meetings the first Wednesday of the month at 6 p.m. and we presently do that via Zoom. All are welcome to attend. Our next meeting is on April 6th, and I will share the link in the chat. Thank you, Dr. Neva, for allowing CBC to be part of this great event.
And CBC is an awesome group to be a part of, and I'm glad and happy to, to be a part of that community for the work they're doing to just help, especially women, so great job, CBC, and good to see you, Sandra. I mean, the chat is like, we have some amazing things here. Some people are showing me some love. Thank you so much, Dr. Neva. I think you're getting some of your book sales here. I see some folks, Verdell, I see a couple of my mentees and so on. The things here are just very, very important messages. Glad to be here. Someone is wanting to successfully defend their dissertation. That's awesome. And if I can ever be of help, let me know. I'll try to do whatever I can. That's always a tough thing. Neva and I can, and others who have gone through that route will be able to attest. So without any further ado, let's once again welcome Sharon Lady B.
Young lady, please unmute yourself.
Hi guys. Can you see me?
Yeah, you're
Yes.
hiding in the vehicle. Yes.
Listen, I gotta do what I gotta do. There's so much noise in the spa right now, so I came into the car. But thank you guys so much for having me, Dr. Neva. Always a pleasure to be amongst some phenomenal women. Always love this type of opportunity. So happy International Women's Day for everyone celebrating. Excited about it. We always should be celebrating ourselves, right? So I'm excited. So for me today, I'm doing so many things. First of all, my thing says Jasmine Richards, so I'm on my daughter's laptop. But my name is Sharon Richards. For everyone who doesn't know me, I'm the co-founder of Anna Spa Boutique, located in Garden City, New York, for the last 7 years. It's a great opportunity to work with my daughter for 7 years. Very, just a very passionate business as far as taking care of one another. The reason why we open this type of business is because I believe we as women don't take care of ourselves. We glorify working, and it's great to work, but we also have to take time for ourselves. So when we first opened, there wasn't a lot of us coming to the spa, but post Black Lives Matter and all the other things going on in the world, we're seeing a lot of us start to come in, which is great. And I always say, if you take an hour out of a month to do you, I mean, you should be doing much more than that. But at least if you take an hour out of the month to get yourself a massage, a facial, do something for yourself. I know a lot of us do, mani pedis, that's a regular, but just be intentional about taking care of yourself. Be intentional about doing something great for yourself. It is so rewarding to you and also to your loved ones and your peers, because people can see when you pour into yourself. People can see when you're taking care of yourself, and you actually start teaching people how to treat you, right? So for the purpose of this platform, I'm going to share a little bit about what I do. I just recently did a retreat in October, phenomenal retreat, and we did a sister circle, and that sister circle was very powerful. Um, and for information, I just started a podcast called Uploaded. And Unloaded, what we do there is, the platform is to help us unload as people, because it's men and women. And I believe that we all have a story, we all have a journey, we all have something we went through to get us to where we are going or where we are. And it's good to share that story, because a lot of people go on social media and they go, wow, how did she get there, how did he get there? And it's causing a lot of people depression and anxiety to believe that they can't get there. It's not attainable for them. And a lot of people don't know what people's story is and how they got there, or how they're getting there. So the platform of my podcast is to show people the journey, what it took, and what it takes to have pursue your purpose and to make you successful. So that's the purpose of Unload. And I really hope you guys get a chance to really jump on that. It's very powerful. We just did something on the black male and suicide. We have some very powerful speakers on that, and that's on Thursdays at 8 p.m. So please take a look at that. So for the purpose of today, I'm going to go quickly about that. We're going to go through, I believe that a lot of times, a lot of us do things because of circumstances or something that happened to us. And so what happens, we we run after things. For instance, let me talk about myself. One of the reasons why I opened a spa boutique with my daughters, because something very traumatic happened, and I felt like, we really need to do something. My daughter's a socialite. I need to have her close, and I just felt like I really need to do something with her. And she agreed to do it, and we did it. But when you start a business or your purpose or your journey, a lot of times, if you don't start intentionally, you don't start with the right motives, you can burn and crash in a business. And I truly believe that's why a lot of businesses do fail, is because people open it with the wrong motives. I have learned through this journey that if you really open a business because of your passion, because of being intentional, um, also being have a heart of servitude, you have the most successful business. So what I normally show people is that, or I try to get people to the place where, let's deal with your heart, your situation, and what's going on with you before you actually start a business, before you even go on the journey of. And don't get me wrong, you can start a business and went through a lot and started and be successful. But what I found is sometimes it takes a little longer to get to the goal, because you got to work through your emotions. You got to work through your finances. You got to work through so many of the things that you didn't take in consideration prior to opening that business, or prior to your journey, your purpose, right? So what I have created many, many years ago, I don't know if you guys can see, you can't see, but it's a circle. So we're going to do this circle really quick. I want everyone to just really take a pen and paper. I have a circle, but if you get a pen and paper really quick, we're going to go through some things, and I'm going to want you to score yourself from 1 to 10. So what this is going to do is just show you where you are right now, you know, in a minute way. All right. So the first thing I want you guys to do is rate yourself. Where do you think you are spiritually from 1 to 10? Right? Also, I want you guys to tell me where you are in your nutrition, 1 to 10. Are you eating healthy? Or are you just grabbing a meal now that you're in business, or you're about to start a business? Where are you, 1 to 10? What are you doing? Are you just eating in the car, grabbing McDonald's, Wendy's? Are you actually purposefully making a meal, carrying your lunch? I want to know what that looks like, 1 to 10. Exercise. Are you exercising? Are you taking 1, 2, 3, 4? What are you doing as far as exercise? 1 to 10. What does that look like? Relationships. So let's say this is a very broad question, relationships so some people, let's just say, how do you feel about your closest relationships? Let's do that. Like your closest people in your circle, what does that look like? 1 to 10. Is it healthy? Is it unhealthy? Are you mad about it? Are you happy about it? What does that look like? All right. Your finances. What is your finance? Are you happy with your finances right now? You know, do you want more money in the bank? Do you want, everybody wants more money in the bank, but are you comfortable? Or are you just always feeling like you live in paycheck to paycheck? Or you just trying to get money? What does that look like? Your work relationship. What is your work relationship? Are you working in an office? Are you happy there? Are you happy with your position? Do you feel like you're appreciated? If you own a business, are you happy in your business? What does that look like? 1 to 10. Okay. 1 being obviously lowest, 10 being I feel great about it. Play, activities, hobbies. Do you have a hobby? If you have a hobby, are you doing that hobby? Or did you have a hobby in high school and college and now you don't do that hobby anymore? What does that look like? 1 to 10. Right? Environment. And environment sounds like your environment is very important. What does your environment look like? Is it cluttered? Is it busy? Is it a solitude? Is it an oasis? What is your environment? Take a moment and think, what is my environment really? Because your environment really can set the tone of how your day goes, right? The other one is going to be self-esteem. And I heard the first speaker talking about, our awareness and how we feel and self-esteem. What is your now be honest with yourself. What is your self-esteem? Because you can dress up a hot mess. And just because you look good doesn't mean you have great self-esteem, right? So you could say, wow, you know, I'm cute, I think I'm attractive, that's great. But how do you internally feel? How do you feel when you wake up in the morning? Do you feel like I can conquer the world? Or do you have to talk yourself even just to get out of the bed? Doesn't even matter how you look, because you can't get to the mirror to look at yourself because you don't know how you feel. So let's address that 1 to 10. So for time purposes, I'm gonna leave it there. And I wanna, if I may, Dr. Neva, I wanna know what people's thoughts are. If we can get some chat, like how are we doing 1 to 10? From either the panelists or from our listeners or our watchers, what are we talking about? How are we looking as far as our spirituality? Are we meditating in the morning? Are we even thinking about spirituality? Are we just so busy we get up and just look at our phones? We're not thinking about that, nothing. What are we doing as far as that? Any answers?
You can just put, just folks, just mute. You can do thumbs up if you like it, or drop in the chat. If she gave her numbers on that, you can just post it in the chat if you want, please.
So let's try this. You could ask, the first one is spirituality, right? I'm still trying. I'm still trying.
Okay.
So I'll say a 7.
7, that's not bad.
Yeah, you have a couple of 7 coming in the chat.
7.
Okay.
Someone said the questions are great.
Okay.
So
as far as nutrition, how are we doing there?
All right, so nutrition, let's see. I'm not sure if this score is coming in for, like Andrea says, 3. Felicia Smith, one of our speakers, this is going so fast. Nutrition, Francois 7. I'm trying to keep up here.
That's okay, it's okay.
We got
an average. We got an average yet?
Oh, someone says 10. Marina,
I think you're probably about 7 with the low and the high. You're about 7.
Okay.
Yeah. We got the fitness pro talking about 10. I see you. Yeah.
What about relationships, the people closest to you?
I'm gonna mute myself for this one.
Come on, Dr. Neva, let's do it. Relationships, 1 to 10.
That's good.
Teresa said 6. Okay, Marina love to cook. Dejan.
Relationships are coming in good. There are 7s, 9s, 10s. Quite a few high
Weeding
numbers
out the
are
negative
healthy.
people.
Wow, that's good. We hear some comments. What about finances?
Well, we always need more money, so I don't know if that's gonna how that's gonna work. So,
I'd like to know what people are saying. Would they like their finances to be improved?
Okay, so Pat says 9, striving for 10. Dijon said -1. Zoran said 8. Finance still processing. Yes.
Okay.
Smith. All right.
Good. How about work?
I just need Uncle Sam to give me a break. Okay, Peter K.
How about work? And let's see.
She had the key. No boss, thank God. Okay, Pat.
You have some good numbers coming in for work. A few people are high 10s and stuff.
What about playing? What about playing hobbies?
Hobbies.
Just put, are we talking about hobbies? We have some 10 when it happens, 9, 10, 8, 10.
Miss
People are having fun.
has a high
There's
score.
some fun.
Not
they have
surprised.
some fun here. We have a 2 is 6. But I think they're doing okay. They're having fun.
Orlandi, I thought you would have been a 10. Kermisha, 8. Okay, okay.
Okay. How about environment?
Now, when you say environment, you mean just a little clarification. Like,
So environment for me is what you wake up to and what you go to bed to.
okay, I see Vina, 7, Jean, 4, Marina, 10, gratitude is going fast now again, 9, Sandra, 9, Leslie, environment, 7, peace, solitude, Pat, 8.
Okay, good.
All
What
right.
about, let's talk about last one, self-esteem.
And the last one, self-esteem. We're going to make this quick because we do have to go to the next speaker.
Yeah.
But 10, 10, 9, those are the numbers we like. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Love
yes.
it.
Somebody said 11. I'm
11.
seeing it. Well, guys, that was a lot of fun. I'm glad it, you know what's great about this exercise? It really gives you like a healthy self check, right? Like you go to the doctors, it's just you do an evaluation of your life. You really should do it sporadically. As often as you can think about it, say like, where am I right now? Because we get so busy that we stop tracking where we are mentally, physically. Are we having fun? We just living life, or are we having a good time? And it looks like a lot of us are really pursuing that. We've learned our lesson. Are we learning our lesson? So again, just thanks for the opportunity, Dr. Neva. I know you just get to the next speaker. You guys did awesome. I hope you like this sister circle that we did today. Just keep it up. Keep on evaluating yourself and doing some self-care. Remember the spa, a non-spa, you can just definitely come and visit us and get a facial or massage, or you can treat yourself to something. And I'm just glad that I'm able to celebrate with you guys.
Awesome. Thank you,
Awesome.
Lady B. I think Orlandina did put some info for for the spa. So why don't you just make sure the podcast and your spa, like the website and so on, is in there. And I think, Neva, you saw Sandra asking for you to make sure you put the link to purchase your book in the chat. All right. So really quickly, while we move to the next speaker, I know Lady B dropped some really good gems here for us, and I think it's a good exercise that we probably keep doing that exercise, different points. And I think that's also a good way to do self-check, right? We're talking about that earlier. I think this helps us check in on where we are with that. And I guess, maybe put one thing in the chat that you do for self-care that, again, as she shared, self-care is, the way you treat yourself is also indicative of how others will treat you. So put that in the chat, and we'll just move right along to our give our Sandra an applause, a heart, or fire, whatever you want with your emojis. Our next speaker is Orlandina Balan. Orlandina, I'm not sure if I'm saying your last name properly. Orlandina is IFBB Pro and is a holistic lifestyle coach and founder of the Fitter Woman Inc. She has created a highly successful flat belly and tight booty clinic in which she helps her clients to work towards getting their bodies in optimal fat burning mode through her 30-minute workouts, signature meal plans, and group coaching. Orlandina, I don't know what you're taking us through today, but you please go ahead, and happy to have you here with us.
Good evening, everyone, and I wanted to wish you all a happy International Women's Day. So I thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. So I'm an educator. Primarily, this is what I came into this world to be. I've been in education for over 20 years. I'm a middle school math teacher. And my love for education has now transcended. I've gone beyond the classroom in that now I am a holistic lifestyle coach. And what I do is I really teach women to reclaim their time, and their waistline. The activity that Sharon did with you requires you to make time. And that is the biggest pain point that women such as myself, women such as you, especially busy women, that is the biggest pain point. I don't have enough time. So I'm going to ask you all a quick question. How many of you worked out today? Whether this morning, whether it's a walk, anything. How many of you worked out today? Okay, very good. Show of hands. I love when I teach my students on Zoom. I'm like, show me your hand, thumbs up. How many of you make movement a priority, or is it an afterthought? If it's a priority, thumbs up. If it's an afterthought, thumbs down. Okay. Now, I know as women, I know if I ask you, what did you do today? First, I got up, I got the kids off to school, and then I grab something to eat, because you always grab it. You'll make the breakfast for the children, but you'll grab something along the way, grab a cup of coffee, grab a donut, grab something, got to work, sat down at the desk, and it was go time. Or I opened up my business and it was go time. Then I ran. I think I grabbed something for lunch. I don't think I remembered to eat, right? Then work day is over, ran out the job, went to pick up the kids, took the kids to sports, took the kids to dance, then sat down and did homework with them. That got fixed dinner for them. And then I think I ate. Does that sound like you? How many of you? Time. We need to make time for movement, because our bodies, the very thing that is ripping and running, guess what? In order for you to rip and run, you had to use this body. The first thing you woke up in, you didn't wake up in your bed, you woke up in your body. When you go to sleep, you're not going to sleep in the bed last, you're going to be sleeping in this body. So how can you make it something that is at the bottom of your to-do list? It has to be a priority, because it is the very vehicle that you use to be the best mom, the best wife, the best career person, to be the best person that you can be. It is the very vehicle that you use to fulfill your purpose. It is the very vehicle that you use to serve your clients. So how can you make it? How can it not be a priority? I can tell you all, you have to go to the gym because it's great for you, right? Everybody, but you're all intelligent. You know that. I can tell you, make sure that you eat well. You know that already. You're all intelligent. You know that. But what I do is I encourage you to make the time to do it, because you can find every reason in the book not to make the time. But when you do, the cost is you. At the end of the day, it is you that's going to pay the price, because you're no longer that time that you didn't have. You're going to make up for that. It's going to cost you more in the end, because it's going to take time away from you. It'll take time away from your families. It'll take time away from the things that you love to do, those hobbies that you want to rip and run to do. Now your body's hurting or you're ill. So now you got to take that time that you didn't have enough of. Now you're spending it at the doctor's. That time that you were ripping and running, doing everything else, now it's going to catch up, because you're going to pay it someplace. So tonight I'm here to encourage you to make time for self-care. Move your body 30 minutes a day. You all have 30 minutes a day. I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't care how busy your day is. You all have 30 minutes, because guess what you're doing for some other 30 minutes? Scroll. Oh, what's he doing? Oh, girl, what is she? Oh, please. That's 30 minutes right there. There's your 30 minutes. Take your phone, go for a walk, park from the furthest place from your job. Find different ways to incorporate movement in your day, because it can happen. You're watching television, get on the floor and do some exercises. Get on my website, get involved in the Fitter Women University. I've got all kinds of workouts for you to do that you can do from home. You could do it from the comfort of your home. You can do it at any time you want, but you got to make the time, because God put you on this earth to fulfill a purpose, and you have limited time to fulfill that purpose. And in order for you to fulfill that purpose, this body needs to be well. The body needs to be able to move. You need to be creative. How do you do that? You have to feed it well. When you eat well, don't you feel like you got all the energy in the world? Your brain is just like, all these ideas. You're able to serve your clients at a better place. So all of this has positive effects. Not only just because you'll get a six-pack. Everybody wants a six-pack and flat belly type booty. What woman does it? But then it goes beyond that. One of the things I tell women, I said, when you feel good, you are bold, fit, and fabulous. You step confidently in your businesses. You walk confidently in life. You are present for your families. These are all of the positive benefits of just 30 minutes a day. Making time to move, making time to eat well. So one of the things that I'm going to be doing is at the end of this month, March 26th, thefitterwoman.com. I'll put it in the chat for you. Thefitterwoman.com. I'm sorry, I'll type it. I have an event coming up. It's called Love in Motion. Why? To celebrate you. I have a dance instructor coming. We're going to dance salsa. We're going to be doing some sexy hip and heels. I'm showcasing different women in business in the self-care space. You're going to be surrounded by self-care. I even have a matchmaker to address address wellness in the terms of relationship, all in one space. Because I believe that in wellness, not only do you have to take care of yourself, but take care of one another. So as a holistic lifestyle coach, I put together fitness events where I bring self-care under one roof. And so you can come in, you have a great time, and then you are just given all these tools, because at the end of the night, I want you all to have tools that you can put in action right away. Not next week, not tomorrow, not next year, you know, for the next New Year's resolution. We're not doing that this year. I'm an anti-New Year's resolutionist. That's just a series of wishes. I'm all action. Let's make an action. Let's take action. So at the end of the month, on March 26th, I'm holding an event called Love in Motion. And what it is, it's like an amazing dance event. You're going to have a matchmaker. We have skincare. We have someone coming in to talk about collagen. I mean, you're going to leave there just happy and just pampered. Good food, good drinks. Don't tell nobody. Just an all good time. Why? Because I want you to make time for yourselves and your girlfriends. Have fun. Okay? So that's what I wanted to talk about, really, was to be healthy on purpose. Be intentional. You wake up, meditate, pray. You have to. That's part of wellness. Be intentional. What am I going to eat for breakfast today? I'm going to intentionally eat something that either came off a tree, out of the ground, not out of a box, unless it's oatmeal or something like that. Be intentional. And if you need assistance with that, tell me. I know of an amazing health coach. She even does meal prep. She will bring the food to you. Time. If you don't have time to cook, that's okay. I understand. So guess what? You hire someone to do it for you. I've hired someone to come clean for me. I've hired somebody to come do laundry. Why? Because my time is valuable. I want to take that time and spend it on me. So sometimes you have to weigh those things. So I may not be going to Starbucks often, but that's okay. That money I've now spent on me. Time. So my name is Orlandina Ballin. I'm a holistic lifestyle coach, and I'm here to serve you. I'm here to remind you to make time for yourself so that you can step into your purpose, bold, fit, and fabulously. And come hang out with me March 26th with my team, Love in Motion. And I promise you, you are going to have an amazing time. Just check me out, thefitterwoman.com. Thank you.
Let's hear those emojis and those fires going up.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. I'm going to see if I could be there for the 26th. I'm supposed to be in New York. For those that don't know, I'm currently in Florida. But I'm on the 31st, I'm being awarded. And I should be there. So I'm going to try to see if I could come a little bit earlier. Let's see if I actually make it. Now, I do see Phil Andrews here with us. And he is, if you don't know, the president of Long Island African American Chamber of Commerce. I'm not sure if, yes, okay, great, you're there.
Yes,
Just
Dr.
want you
Neva.
to, yes.
Yes, I hear all these good words, so I had to chime in. It was really, it's really a great presentation, and it's a great time to renew people. I've been hearing the conversation, and that's what we need. We need to be working at optimum level, and we need these type of events so we can perform optimally. So I just want to thank you publicly for putting on this event.
And thank you so much for your help and assistance in getting the word out there. How can they reach the Long Island African American Chamber of Commerce?
Well, simply, it's very easy. Google is very smart. They could just say New York State's largest African American Chamber of Commerce. We own that space, and they'll see plenty of work, and they can also just put in Long Island African American Chamber. So it's very easy. Google knows. They get you the best chamber that you put those words in, and we'll come up. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Phil. Appreciate it. And I just want to step in here for a second and just to say we are having a raffle towards the end. In order for you to be in the raffle, we're asking for donation for the National Educational Venture Alliance. And Javon, who's assistant, he will state the website that you could go to. And I mean, no matter what the donation is, that's how you're able to be in a raffle. We are lucky enough to have other individuals have donated before the event. So I know some are not actually here, but they have participated. So Javon just put the information there. Appreciate it. And now we move back over to Dr. G.
Hi, everyone. Wonderful presentation there, Orlandina. Cynthia, I see your hand's been up for a while. I'm not sure if you have a question, but if you don't mind maybe typing it in the chat for us and we can take a look at it and share it. Or when we get closer to the end, when we're going to do our breakout rooms, we can also have you share that so that you don't forget your thought. So one of the things before we go into our next panel is when Orlandina talked about, one of her things is that flat belly, right? We forget that part is our core. As women, we have to be strong. Why wouldn't be wanting to be doing things that will help to make us better? And I think what I would ask is for us to put one strategy, I guess, in terms of what it is that we want to do in terms of our overall health goals for some of the things Orlandina shared. I think I think for me, I would say 30 minutes a bit much, but there are lots of things you can do. And it was so hysterical. Yeah, we find time to just scroll through the feed of mindless stuff that goes right back to self-esteem issues and overall health and wellness, right? We have to just reclaim those 30 minutes. It doesn't have to be 1 30-minute, it could be throughout the day that you get to do it. So put something in there let's see what some of those goals are. And make sure you connect with all the speakers that are here, follow them on social media, check out their products and the stuff that they're selling. We have to support each other. Most of us here this evening are women. Let's support women, let's cut the bias. Let's, support each other and be strong together. We're going to move in to what is going to be our mental health panel. And I think I covered everything. I think, Neva, you just did the bit about the education and the donation. Please make sure you donate to the cause and check it in the chat. The mental health panel is going to be moderated by Carmisha Superville. Carmisha is an author, host, speaker, founder of EBK events. She is an MWBE NY State certified. She's a graduate of Lehman College with a degree in business administration and marketing. She later pursued a master's in urban policy at Murphy Institute, CUNY. She is the founder of EBK Events, a full-service event planning and consultation firm located in Greater New York. She has planned events for celebrities, influencers such as Atlanta #1 realtor and broker, is it Kiana Watson, private clients and city agencies such as New York Comptroller's Office. Let's welcome our next moderator and or panel.
Please unmute.
Of course. Thank you so much, Dr. G. It's an honor to be here, as well as Dr. Neva. Thank you. So excited. Certainly thank you for all the presenters as well. I'm really excited to be here. So good afternoon. As Dr. G stated, my name is Kamisha Superville, and we will be having a great conversation about mental wellness. And certainly as working women and men, we certainly need to have these conversations. So welcome to the stage, our speakers. Felicia, are you here?
Yes, I am. Thank you
Okay,
so much.
welcome. Yes. Do I have Dawn? Is Dawn here with us?
Yes, Don Sinkfield,
Awesome.
I'm here.
Welcome. And Zoran.
Hi, everyone. Zoran here.
Hi. Great, great. So welcome. So of course, I will give you guys the opportunity to briefly state who you are and your specialty. So Felicia, you can take it away.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Neva, and thank you all for being here as well to contribute to such an amazing event. My name is Felicia Smith. I'm a licensed professional counselor here in Texas. I'm the founder of Relate to Clinic, where at Relate to Clinic, we focus on helping clients heal from the past, cope with their present, and focus on their future. Donna said something really valuable. When we have these self-talk conversations, it's all about what are we talking about? So definitely want to get into some good conversation this evening among my peers. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you. And Don, you can introduce yourself.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Don Sinkfield. I am one of the founders and the vice president of the New Hope Mental Health Counseling in Valley Stream. We doubled the amount of people that we have helped over the last 2 years during COVID. And, you know, I'm just happy that mental health is becoming something that more and more people are unashamed and not hesitant to reach out to get. And we're, you know, trying to provide those services here in Valley Stream. And we have clients from all over New York State. So I'm happy to be here to talk about this important issue on International Women's Day and during Women's Month.
Absolutely. Thank you. And we are happy to have you. And of course, last but never least, Zoran, please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Zoran Lazarus Theodore. I'm the owner of Zen Life Therapy. I work up here in New York, upstate New York, in the Hudson Valley. And Zen Life Therapy provides support to individuals, women. I do a lot of self-love groups, right? Working with adolescents, providing a safe space for adolescents to come and to really highlight, right, that the idea of mental health and to be able to ask for help and to be able to seek each other and to support each other, right, as in starting from that age, as well as empowerment for women.
Thank you. Lovely. Well, we will divulge into a very structured conversation. And the first question will go to Felicia. Felicia, what do you think, or what do you do if you're worried about your mental health? What should someone do if they're worried about their mental health?
Oh, thanks. I had to unmute myself. I would recommend that a client would get help. I know that it's a stigma sometimes for people, and sometimes people of color, sometimes women, because we're told you have to be strong. So it's a really good idea to really trust what you're feeling. And if you just don't feel like you're doing well, you're being impacted at work with your mental health status, you're being impacted in your relationship, just your overall balance of life, it's a good idea to get help. Like the lady of Zen Life, we provide a safe space for clients to really come and be their authentic self. So it's a really good idea to just reach out and make a phone call. And you'll be surprised at what is waiting to embrace you with the challenges that you may be facing. 2 words, get help.
Get help. Recognizing the problem and getting help. So, same question. same question. Don, you can answer the question. What should someone do if they're worried about their mental health? And that's if they're conscious of it as well.
Yeah, I think we see a lot more people being aware of mental health and not feeling that it's, very shameful. One of the things that I think that I appreciate about 90s, 2000 culture was that although there was a lot of quote unquote mindless reality TV shows, they did show these individuals who was, featured on the show going to therapists. And, nowadays it's easier than ever to, you don't have to find a location to go to. You can simply go on one of the search tools, find a Black therapist, find a woman therapist, find a therapist that's particular to the issues, that specializes in the issues that you are experiencing. Zip code filters, everything is there to really point you in a direction that you can actually read about the therapist, see an image of the therapist. So although therapy is not the only way to engage in self-care, I really believe that maybe 4 out of 5 people can benefit from just talking out what is happening with a professional. So I totally agree with that.
Yeah, seeking help. What if you're not even conscious about it? That's a whole nother conversation, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Zoran, please, what do you do if you are struggling with your mental health? What is the first approach should you do?
Yeah, I like the fact that you mentioned about not conscious. I often tell clients we need to activate, right? I encourage you to activate curiosity, right? Asking yourself, is something wrong? Is something off? Am I not feeling good? How long have I been feeling good? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? So really activating that curiosity. And that takes some time to get there. Once we're there, I will encourage people here on the panel, and as you see other, your family members and so forth and so on, and your children, encourage to tell someone, really, and I think Don, you mentioned that, we're getting to the point, and one of my biggest thing is to advocate that therapy, mental health is not a dirty word. So to be able to say, I'm not feeling good, I'm off, I'm overwhelmed, I need help, I need to meet with you, being able to tell a friend and tell a spouse or tell a partner. Once you do that, we'll actually also ask to implement self-care, but implement it in a specific way. I'll implement it in the way of physical wellness, mental wellness, emotional wellness, and spiritual wellness. When I see a client and they say to me, Zoran, I'm doing all the self-care and I'm still just not feeling myself, I said, go and seek professional help. And normalizing that, right? And I started from the young teens, from the college students. If you're not feeling well as you're entering college, seek out, where is that office that I can go and speak to someone? If I don't want to tell a parent, anyone that you can let them know that you're not feeling well, right? Therapy is not a dirty word. We all have a mind. We walk around with our mind. We walk around with our heart. So we all have a mind. We may not all be struggling with mental illness, but we all need to take care of our mental wellness. So I often said, self-care allows us to reset, to recharge, and to realign ourselves. So if you're struggling, if you're worrying about your mental health, I would say to certainly activate that curiosity and let someone know that you need help.
Love it. Love it. So let's recap, because this is really essential, especially that this is live stream. So we have a lot of folks listening. So let's recap what we heard so far from the panel of professionals. Ask for help, create a community, talk to family members, create a safe space. So that community that you would have created, right, is a safe space where you can tell someone within that community that, hey, I'm not feeling well today. Hey, I have not been feeling well for these past few months, right? Therapy. Dawn spoke about really activating and searching and filtering out what therapists, right, within your region, your locality, that really fits you, right? And the last but not least, mental health is not a negative word. Mental health is not negative. Thank you so much. I think these are really essential. Thank you. So the next question, let's talk about self-care. Dawn hinted to that a little bit earlier. So Zoran, what are some ways that self-care can support your mental and or emotional well-being? And give us like maybe 2 or 3 tips as to how the self-care looks like, because it looks like, you know, differently for everyone. So what are some ways?
Okay, so self-care and self-care and self-love is essential. Our body hears, our body hears what our mind is saying. So self-care allows us to really equip us to be able to respond and manage those moments. We all have those moments. We're either in it, going into it, in a situation and coming out of that situation. So self-care allows us to really be able to just put that front. So for physical wellness, I would say some of the tips would be movement. We talked about that earlier, and I love that. Making time to make movement, right? Whether it's that 15 or 10 minutes. So really being able to do that. Mental wellness would be like meditation, journaling. I love my gratitude jars. I have a mason jar, and you put that gratitude, really just reflecting on that. Emotional wellness is connecting with people, calling people, letting them know, texting. We use a lot of that scrolling that we talked about earlier, really texting someone, letting them know that, that you need that support, and just being able to say, especially now with the pandemic, what we're going under with pandemic, it's being able to not have those connections. Positive self-talk, how we talk to ourselves. Yes. And then we have the spiritual wellness as far as quiet time, fellowship time, prayer time. So those are some of the tips that, as far as self-care and self-love, that I would suggest.
I think you took everything. I think you did wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, Felicia, you're next. What are some ways that we can support ourselves through self-care mentally and emotionally?
Well, at Relate to Clinic, it's integrated in care. We combine clinical with faith. For those clients that come in and they actually have these challenges where they are unaware of self-care, we teach self-autonomy, which means it's okay to have your moral compass or your self-governing system modified or improved. So we teach you about getting to know yourself. Self is not selfish. And I think sometimes clients struggle with taking care of themselves because they've been conditioned to think it's selfish just to focus on myself. I know a lot of women clients struggle with, I can't put myself first. So we teach you how to really learn how to practice healthy self-autonomy, using your moral compass to take care of yourself. So for those clients who are open to using faith practices, pray. That's tip number 1. Pray about what you want God to help you with. We carry so many responsibilities of others, and we don't put ourselves on the list. 2, get sleep at night. When you get up in the morning, you're tired, your day has already started in a negative. We teach you about sleeping. Treating your body to rest is self-care. Knowing that it's okay to block your schedule sometime and put on your schedule rest, or chill, or chillax, or me time, or remote control time, or the other remote control time, whatever that needs to look like. But taking care of yourself is praying, it's resting with good sleep, intentional sleep, which means we teach you about sleep hygiene. What does that look like? That means you need to set a schedule in the evening to really get yourself in the place where you're going to take care of your sleep. The next one is eating. How are you eating? Meal is under mood. So it's mood over meal. What's your mood like? Because whatever your mood is like is going to determine sometimes what your meal is going to look like. A lot of times clients struggle with depression and anxiety. So if you're anxious, you're going to choose something to help you feel better. If you're depressed, You're gonna comfort food. I need some ice cream. I need some chocolate, which dark chocolate is very good for your endorphins and your dopamine levels and cortisol level. But it's really looking at how are you eating? Because if you react to your moods, your plate may not look as good to treat your body well. So it's counteractive of these toxins that are producing because your mood is not in a good place. So your meal may be commiserate of that meal. The other thing we teach you about is your thought process. Thoughts are everything.
Yes.
What you think has everything to do with how you feel. So it's a linear process. You have situation, thoughts, then you have emotions or mood, and then you have behaviors. So if your thoughts are not lined up in a positive manner, the mood is going to be negative. Here's where we have depression, sadness, anger, frustration, annoyed, irritability, low self-image, suicidal thoughts, self-injurious behaviors. Then we have the actual behaviors. I don't want to get up today. I don't want to go to work. So I would say start with prayer. Ask God to help you if you're a faith person. Look at your sleep, look at the way you're eating, and look at the way you're thinking. But starting with those 4 things can help you with some really good self-care practices. Of course, there are many, many more, but those are essential because how we think directs a lot. If you rule your day or structure your day, you set the tone of your day with your thought process.
Yes, yes.
Be able to see some different results.
Wow, beautiful. Well said. And even some of the different examples you all just gave, I never even thought about that. So thank you so much. Well done. You're next. What are some self-care
I mean, I heard so
support?
many great things that
Yes.
it's hard to add on, but that idea of starting with setting the tone of your day is very
Yes.
important. So, you know, we experience a lot of people, clients who are people of faith, and they talk about, you know, experiencing things in life from the point of view of what God wants for them, or what they believe they should be doing in their divine purpose. And I really believe that whether you are a person of faith or not, that starting the day with setting the tone, whether it's with affirmations, where you are, if you're experiencing anxiety, you're saying to yourself or but out loud, I am safe, I am okay, I am able. That is so important because it really helps people to get on the right track. I also, one of the specializations that I have is I'm a CBTI, which is CBT, Cognitive Behavioral Therapy for Insomnia. And, you know, it sounds, when you hear about insomnia, it sounds very specific, like, oh, if I don't have problems sleeping, that therapy wouldn't be particularly interesting for me. But the idea of CBTI is teaching people the sleep hygiene that was just talked about is so important.
Yes.
You know, a lot of us were raised believing that it's normal to just have a TV on all night while we're trying to sleep. It is not, you know, optimal for you. The blue light, you know, the terminology for the, you know, that active light that is being emitted from the TV or the cell phone is not good for sleep. And, you know, if you are using sounds to go to sleep, it's a much better idea than keeping on some kind of video that you're watching on a phone, or just having a television on. Additionally, I believe that people should not be afraid to turn off the sounds or do not disturb on those cell phones, because the phones, you know, can be a hindrance to just peace and rest. And, you know, connected to that is the idea that many people believe that because there's people that they love in the world, they have to keep their phone on 24 hours a day. But, you know, 99% of the time, you can turn your phone off during prescribed hours that you make for yourself. And if you turn those sounds off or do not disturb during certain hours, you will find that everyone will be okay, and they'll reach you at 7 a.m. or whatever time you prefer, because it's just like we set boundaries emotionally, you know, with what we want to come into our lives. It's important on that very basic level to prescribe rest for yourself.
Thank you. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. So let's recap. We have to recap. The question was asked, what do you do to promote self-care, both mentally as well as spiritually? So now let's talk about what we heard. Meditation, right? We heard connecting with other people, texting, right? So that's how you do it, connecting with other people by texting, quiet time, fellowship, prayer, also clinical, right? Clinical, which is amazing. And Faith spoke about that. Felicia spoke about that. So thank you for that. Understanding self-autonomy, right? And blocking out your schedule. I think that is so imperative, especially for professionals, right? Really taking time and really integrating rest into your schedule. So absolutely. And Dawn topped it off with sound, right? Turning the television off, right? So this is really, and of course, diet. Diet plays a big role in our mental wellness and self-care. So certainly thank you for that. This is amazing. Okay, let's get a little bit transparent, shall we?
Yes,
Shall we?
shall.
Okay.
Yes,
Let's
we
get a little
shall.
bit transparent. Certainly, we are all on this call and this amazing conversation, but we all have collectively gone through this pandemic together. And so the pandemic, let's talk about it. How has the pandemic changed your relationship, i.e., for example, with your spouse, with your colleagues, right? With your coworkers, with your team members, and or your love life? Care to share, anyone?
Yes.
All right, Felicia.
This is in our wheelhouse at Relate to Clinic. Relate to Clinic was really, it was founded on the principles of helping the individual holistically so that we could help the family together as a community and help the world. But it starts with the individual. We've seen a lot of variations of separations during the pandemic. And we're all adults here. I believe this is an adult crowd. Yes. In the pandemic, we saw an influx of separations and to be divorces because individuals, you know, you walk down the aisle, you have this great idea of what this spouse is going to do and be, and all the expectations of how they're going to make you happy. Then there's such a thing as a pandemic that happened, and you were forced to be in the house with this person that you are either in a relationship with, living with, or married to, right? Well, over time, sometimes if you don't do maintenance or check-ins or checkups in the relationship area, spouses or partners, they get complacent, they get tired, they may draw interest elsewhere. And we saw that a lot of people decided that this person is just not for me anymore. Yeah. You know, they are no longer able to have that break to go to work because we were quarantined, right? So looking at this person, oh, I really don't like them. You know, we don't have anything in common anymore, or we've grown so far apart. I don't know if I want to recover this relationship. Or it's the other extreme. I've been seeing somebody else at work and now I can't see them at work, and now I'm home and have to deal with this partner and I don't like them anymore. I want the person at work. So we've seen so much. So I've just charged clients with, be honest with yourself. Be very candid with yourself about 3 things. You can write this down or take note. Check your expectations plus your reality. And if they're off, it's going to equal a disappointment. Expectations plus reality equals a disappointment when they're off. And then some math. People during the pandemic were doing basic math, adding, multiplying, subtracting, and dividing. Does this partner add to my life? Do they multiply my life? Those are two positives. Or do they divide or subtract from my life? So dividing, do they divide me from my family? Do they divide me or subtract from my faith walk or my purpose or my business life? You know, so a lot of assessing was taking place, and we saw an influx of a lot of changes. Divorce to bees were a new thing. So this is how I've seen as a clinician the pandemic affecting relationships.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so let's wrap up. Certainly, Dawn, you care to share how has the pandemic affected relationships?
So I always say that there's some drugs that enhance or add to the mood that you're in. And that's how I describe the pandemic. If you had bad home conditions or things were not on an even keel, or as Felicia was just saying, there was some maybe dishonesty or things that were not happening that were transparent, then more than likely putting people together for that all day and having the children in the house often, it really created a very negative situation. I mean, I had clients that were calling me saying, I went in my driveway, or I went outside somewhere to do this session because I just didn't want to be, even if they could have closed the door and had the session privately, they just wanted to be away from even people who they did love, like their kids, even if it wasn't a bad relationship. People's morning routines, returning phone calls in the car or whatever they do, it does make a difference for people in a positive way. Keeps people human. And the pandemic took that away from many people. On the contrary, though, I'll share a little bit about myself. I have two kids, now 11 and 14, that I spent a lot more time with during the pandemic. And it was actually a beautiful experience because I became a better cook. I was doing like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we would just spend a lot of time together, and it was very nice. But there was situations, and I'm able to work from home, but the essential workers and just people who don't have that luxury, it was very stressful for many people, being in the home and not being able to quote unquote escape.
Yeah. Thank you, Dawn. Absolutely. I agree. It, like, what Felicia said, it either brought you closer or it made you really analyze the relationship. Certainly. And I love that math, by the way, Felicia. All right, Zoran, I want you to take this question. Can anxiety be decreased by self-care? Can anxiety be decreased by self-care? Is there a direct connection between self-care and decreased stress level? Can anxiety be decreased by self-care? Zoran?
Yes, absolutely. It can. Anxiety, definitely. Self-care and self-love, I like to kind of piece them together, right? Self-care and self-love allows us to really pour into ourselves, right? It allows us to stop and pause and give the love to ourselves that we often give to other people. It allows us to set boundaries, and it allows us to really just,
it's for Zoom. So this woman I know invited me to it. It's for.
Okay, let's mute. Okay, sorry, you can go ahead.
Okay.
It allows us.
Right. So with self-care and self-love, what it does is that by doing that, by pausing and really providing that to ourselves, it improves resilience, right? It's going to activate bravery, which activates changes. So I often have clients that are struggling with anxiety. We all have some form of anxiety, right? In our day-to-day, especially you talked about the pandemic earlier. I certainly saw it increase with mental health and so forth. So being able to intentionally, we use that word a lot today. So I hope that we take that away with intention. With intention means I'm doing it with my mind, my heart, and my soul, right? So self-care allows you, if you are doing it intentionally every single day, intentionally, you are setting time to promote stability, right, in your mind, in your emotions. So self-esteem, self-care, self-love is going to promote that resilience. So when situation occurs, you're able to address it. You're able to manage it. It increases your self-confidence. It's going to reduce your stress. We talked earlier, someone mentioned sleep. We talked about eating. We talked about exercise. We talked about connection with self, connection with others. We talked about positive talk, and we talked about spirituality, right? So when you combine all of that, whatever comes your way, because it will come your way, whatever comes your way, you're able to manage it. You're able to manage it in a certain way where it's, like I said, like a Coca-Cola bottle where and you close your Coca-Cola bottle and then you shake it and then you open it. What happens? You explode, right? So this allows you to be able to not necessarily be shaken by things that's going to occur, because we know none of us are exempt from stress. None of us are exempt from situations, right? So self-care, self-love, and intentionally practicing it on a daily helps us, it equips us. So when something occurs, when something comes our way, we're able to address it with more positive and more resilience.
Resilience. Wonderful. Beautifully said. Thank you so much. And as we wrap up, Felicia, I want you to give us some self-care tips. How can self-care be incorporated into our busy schedule? How can self-care be incorporated into our busy schedule? Give us about 2 to 3 tips.
Okay, before you speak, if you could make it extremely short because we're running over time. Thank you so much.
All right. So of the ones that I mentioned before, the prayer, the devotion, we'll throw in affirmations. But for busy people, busy women like you guys and busy gentlemen, I recommend that clients use a calendar and respect the calendar. Respect your personal boundaries on your calendar, and also use a daily list of not more than 2 to 3 things. Zoran spoke about anxiety. A lot of times with a lot of responsibilities, people can get very overwhelmed. And so learning how to recognize when you start to feel, oh, okay, I gotta go do this, I gotta da. So make a list, 2 to 3 things max that are attainable in your day. But also coupled with the prayer, the meditation, the devotion, breathing exercises. Breathing can really, really usher in a chance to do some self-reflection and give you a chance to reclaim and recover yourself if you start to feel those overwhelming feelings. So make a list, 2 to 3 things, use a calendar, but respect the calendar. And don't forget to put yourself at the top of your list.
Thank you. This is such a beautiful conversation. It's so informative. Thank you so much for your time. And of course, I don't want to end it without Don saying a few words. So Don, any advice, any extra tips you like to provide?
Thank you for that. I mean, I just believe that, mind, body, and soul. So preparing yourself for the day, getting up, say your affirmations, imagine your day and what you want to accomplish, keeping those things in realistic bounds. I believe that movement is very important, even if it's a walk or, around the blocks that you live. It can even be, 15 minutes. It's better that you move than not. And, you know, just taking care of yourself in whatever way, whatever things are important to you, trying to get those things in. I'll just say this real quick last thing that the American Psychological Association actually has self-care as an ethical mandate. You know, it's part of the ethics that we should have as mental health professionals for ourselves, because in order to help people, we really need to maintain
Take care of
that.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for this mental wellness panel. Don Singfield, Felicia Smith, Zoran Lazarus Theodore, thank you so much for your expertise. My name is Kamisha Superville, founder of EBK Events. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's get some
Excellent.
emojis and some words going in the panel, how we're feeling, and also just share one thing that I guess, you know, we were not, I guess we were not conscious of, that we, you know, and how we address that. Go ahead, Dr. Neva.
Yes, well, we will move on at this time due to the time with the next speaker. So Dr. G, please introduce her. Thank you.
So moving right along, some really interesting things, everyone, you know, all our speakers, please put your information in the chat so that if folks want to, who are attending want to, you know, connect with you, they can do so. Our next speaker is Ms. Francois. Ms. Francois is a dynamic entertainer, speaker, producer, writer, author, and game-changing trendsetter that aims to inspire. She migrated from Trinidad and Tobago in her late teens to establish a new legacy for her life. She is the host of Miss Francois Show, a talk show that encompasses candid conversation with a variety of entertainment and uses humor to help others with their dysfunctional relationships. She will share with us today 3 ways to keep going by looking back. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. G. First of all, I must say, you know, when someone introduces you, you're supposed to come on here and say thank you, and I'm supposed to act a little humble. But then I looked up the word humble. And when you look up the word humble, it basically says to be modest and to basically lower the estimate of your importance. And I'm thinking, no, I'm not going to do that. So I am amazing. And thank you, Dr. G, very much. Because I believe how hard I worked, and so many you all have worked hard, whether it's career, job, or whatever you're doing on your goals, you should own it. So I'm owning mine. With that, I am going to somewhat reintroduce myself. My name is actually Patrice Francois, but I go by Miss Francois. That's MSS for multi-talented and super sexy. At one point in time, some people thought it was multi-talented and super single, but I'm working on changing that. But in any case, you can hear that I have an accent. That's because I'm from a great island called Trinidad and Tobago. And here's some useless information. If you look up Trinidad and Tobago, we actually have one of the sexiest accents around. So you're welcome. With that said, I migrated here in my late teens. Why? Why does anyone? In hopes of a better life, opportunity, more money. And for me, if you're an immigrant like me, when I was in Trinidad, I thought of America being this great, amazing place. Everybody was rich. I thought the family that I was going to be living with in New York, I thought they were going to be like the Winslows from Family Matters, or I was obsessed with that show called Full House. So I thought maybe I'll have a family like the Tanners. But when I came here, that family was not like one of those TV families. I had a very hard adjustment, and I was abused in every which way. And that whole fairy tale that I had wasn't real. I was actually put out of the house, literally in a black garbage bag at the side of the road. And I remember that day thinking, where exactly was I going to sleep? So I say that to basically say what I've learned from that whole experience is don't pay attention to 90s sitcom. It's all a lie, it's not a fairy tale. But on a serious note, our experience shapes us. It shapes the person that we are. And before I even continue, I want to make sure you all are aware that I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. I go to church only on Sundays. So I'm not a deacon preaching, and I cannot give any spiritual advice. The only thing I can give you is what I have learned from my experience. And a lot of times you're going to hear quotes about not looking back. Something, what's her name? Solis Pate says, she encouraged you not to look back because something might be gaining on you. And there's another quote that says, do not look back because you might have regrets. Only look forward because there is a lot of opportunity. And now these quotes sound really nice and really cool, but I want to encourage you to look back, because when you look back, you see how far you have come. And some of these things remind us why we should keep looking forward. So 3 things that I try to look back and focus on in order to help me keep going forward is 1, recognize growth. If any one of you are the same person you was when you were 5, 16, or 25, honestly, you need a therapist and I can help you. But one of the things I want us to recognize, we're going to do a quick exercise, and it's so simple. Even if your screen is off and you're trying to take care of the kids, cook something or whatever the case might be, I encourage you to pause, because we're going to do something called looking back. I want you to take a moment and think back to a particular time in your life where someone has hurt you. It could be at your job, it could be a friend, a family member, a particular instant, an event, a circumstance, a situation that caused you to feel less than, caused you to feel hurt, angry. Maybe you don't even talk to that person anymore. And when you start to feel all those emotions and you're thinking, I hated her. I can't believe she did that to me. I thought we were friends. At the same time, when you look back, think about where you are at this present moment. Because of that situation, you could have gotten a new relationship. You could have discovered even a better way of looking at finding red flags in that past relationship. Maybe you have a whole new husband because of whatever that situation caused. The whole point is, when you look back, you have grown, and there's so many more things in life that we can continue to grow and learn. So do look back and realize how far you have come. Number 2 is recognize that you should take some responsibility. Will Smith had posted a video sometime in 2001, and it basically said that it may not be your fault that certain things has happened, but it's your responsibility to fix it. Now, I've been in some relationships, and it may not be my fault that he cheated, and it may not be my fault that he ruined the relationship or the marriage, but it's my responsibility to heal from that pain and to move forward and to find my happiness. The whole point of that video was not to live in a victim mode. What's the point of focusing on all the things that person did to you back then and continue to hurt? You need to take your power back and figure out how can you heal from that hurt. And you could only do that by looking back and realize you should start moving forward, because you can be great. Focus on creating and moving forward instead of blaming that person and being a victim for God knows how long. Plus, I got a new man now, but anyway, I digress. Thirdly, I want you to recognize and celebrate success. Many times when we look in the past, guess what? We always think of something negative that has happened. We never seem to focus on the positive. I was in a program a few years ago, and their names are Chris and Jen, and they came up with this great thing that they had all of us do. It's called Create Your Own Badass List. So just like you look back in time and you think of all the things someone may have done to you and the situations you were in, why not think about all the wins you have had in your past? It could be graduating from college. It could be starting that business. It could be being promoted from that new job. It could be being the best mother you could be. It could be giving birth. But write a list down, and every time you feel bad, look back and celebrate your wins. One thing I'll tell you, as Dr. G said, right? My name is Miss Francois. I host a show. It's all about candid conversation, a bunch of entertainment, and I use humor to help others deal with their dysfunctional relationships. And some people come up to me and say, oh, that's so cool. I've seen your show. It's in 22 Caribbean countries, all that good stuff. But they don't know how I got there. They don't know how I had to take my pain and make it my purpose. They don't know because of that show, and the reason for that show is because all the relationships I've been in have failed. They didn't realize that I was having sex, believing that was love. They don't realize how much I felt lonely and hurt and how much pain I was going through because of these failed relationships. But I was able to take my pain and make it my purpose. So I say to you, recognize growth, take some responsibility, and recognize that you should celebrate your successes. And if all else fails, you can do like me. I always remember that it's the fire in my eyes, the flash of my teeth, the swing of my waist, and the joy in my feet. Because I am woman phenomenally. Phenomenal woman, that's me. I don't have a mic, so I can't drop it. So therefore, I'll just have to walk off in style. Thank you.
Love it. Let's see the fire bombs and the hearts and so on. That's awesome. 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 Dr. Neva, I know we're running for time, everyone. So if you can just hang around for a little bit so we can just say, you know, we'll get through our program. This is just really, really awesome and fantastic. And Ms. Francois, I can tell you, I believe in that kind of messaging is so important. We have to be authentic. And I think until others are, you know, start to share and more of us share that, look, you know, nobody really wants to know about the ugly stuff, right? They see the pretty part of it, and that's what they, you know, they're excited about, and know that it's a journey. So Dr. Neva, I don't know if you want to take over from here and just continue with the rest.
Yes. So thank you so much, Dr. G. I hope you're not running away. But I just want to say we have 5 minutes to the raffle. So if you want to donate, you have 5 minutes left. But I do have Amanda here, and I'm just going to give her a minute to come on and speak with us. And yes, I'm actually being awarded, given an award on the 31st, which is the Caribbean Impact Award. So Amanda, thank you. Please, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. It's beautiful to see everyone smiling, or most of these smiling faces that I can see. Yeah, we're very excited. So I am from Caribbean Life newspaper. We are also we're published by Schnaps Media, and we also publish AM New York and Metro Daily newspapers. And we are excited because every year we do host the Caribbean Impact Awards, and we get plenty of nominations from the community every year, you know, notifying us of individuals who are doing amazing things within their chosen field. And this year, Dr. Alexander is going to be one of our 2022 Caribbean Impact Award honorees. And also, yay! And also Don Sinkfield, who I saw on the call earlier, is also being awarded with Clinton Clovis as well at the event. And so, you know, I wanted to get on here to share with everyone the importance of the Caribbean Impact Award, what it means. And, you know, what we really do is we take this opportunity to highlight individuals within the community who are making an impact, who pay it forward to their community, who are helping uplift other people, who are most importantly creating a foundation and a path and opening the doors to give others the confidence to use their voice and, you know, use this platform as well and these awards to even get a greater voice. So congratulations to Dr. Alexander for being one of this year's honorees. And we wanted to share with you an open invite for anybody who wished to attend to come and support Dr. Alexander at the event, where she will be walking down a red carpet and collecting an award on stage. And we will have, you know, a full photography crew there and printing the photos from the event in Caribbean Life the week after in both print and online. And just wanted to share with everyone congratulations. I see, Don, you're back. Congratulations to you too.
Thank you. Nice meeting you also.
Yes. So, you know, just amazing individuals on this call, and we would, you know, love to share the experience with you. If anybody is interested in attending, I will put my details in the chat, and I will help to coordinate tickets. It's Thursday, March 31st, Caribbean Impact Awards at 6 p.m. at the Paradise Catering Hall in Brooklyn. It's open bar and there's plenty of food, fun, entertainment, and you know, just networking for everyone just to express their, you know, and embrace each other. So congratulations.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And I hope that some of you will join us, because it's not just myself now, right? It's Dawn. So join
as
us,
well, yeah.
right? Yes, yes, awesome. Thank you so much, Amanda. All
Excellent.
right.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks. All right, and real quickly, Dijon, I might be saying your name incorrectly, and I apologize. Strain, are you there? Are you there?
I'm here. Hello.
Hello.
You said it right. It's Dijon Strange.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hello. So I'm going to be very quickly, and please, by all means, I will not think it rude if you cut me short, by all means. So I'm just going to talk very quickly. My name is Dijon Strange, and I am coordinator for New York State Breast and Prostate Peer Education Project. And what we do is we go throughout Suffolk County, but there is one program in every large county in New York State. So it is New York statewide, but my particular branch is Suffolk County, and we do education on breast, risks and symptoms, benefits of early detection, different type of screening, and the same for prostate. We also have a program where we do free screenings for individuals 40 and up who live in Suffolk County who have no insurance. We do not ask for immigration status. We're never going to ask that. And we also do, if you are diagnosed or have any abnormalities, we pay for that treatment also. And if you are diagnosed, then we put you under our insurance. And at that point, when you are diagnosed with cancer, God forbid, but we also do bill assistance, because we want to make sure that you are completely covered and stress-free while you go through your recovery, and you have nothing to worry about. So that means light bill, gas, electric, rent. We also help with transportation. Another big part of what we do is community resources. We are free. So we also understand, because I am a Northwell employee, we also understand that if you are going through things such as you are hungry, you don't have stable housing, that I can sit and preach to you all day long about how you should get your mammogram, but it is not on the top of your list because you're hungry. So then we will address those issues for you. We will help you find food. We will help you find transportation to doctor's appointments, because that's another big issue. We will help you with clothing, because there's a lot of people who are uncomfortable going out into the community because they're not comfortable in what they're wearing. So we pretty much help with a wide variety of things. We do not turn away anybody. We always try to help everyone. Our services are free, but I can't guarantee that once I find the community resource, the resource will be free. But I do always try to get you the best possible rate possible. And we do treat you in our area or in your area. It doesn't have to be a Northwell facility. We go to where you are, so we will send you what's closest to you. Another thing I want to say is that we are really big on self-advocacy and giving our patients voice. You are your own advocate. I cannot go into the doctor's office with you. So we do make them vocalize themselves, like, you are not a 10-minute slot. You are somebody's loved one and you are important. Ask the necessary questions that you need to. If you have to write it down, do what you need to do for your health, because it's your body. Take care of you, especially women. We are caregivers. We are the ones who everybody falls on, but we definitely need to be able to be strong enough to pour from our own cup into somebody else's. We can't pour from an empty vessel. So definitely want to keep yourself up and do that self-care that everybody spoke of today. It's very important, and mentally, because it all starts in the mind. Illness starts up here, believe it or not. So definitely want to address those issues. So I'll leave my contact information in the chat. There's definitely a lot more that I could get into, but it would be a lot longer than the time I have allowed it. So please reach out to me. I'm always best to reach by email because I'm actually in the community. I very rarely am in my office. I prefer to be where the people are. So just reach out to me if you need anybody or need anything. By all means, please, 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 please. It's a very underutilized service. So please reach out to me. I appreciate you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Dr. Neva, really quickly, if you don't mind. I do have my friend Karen. I believe she's in the chat. Karen is with the district attorney office. So can we just give her an opportunity to say hello? The Brooklyn District Attorney.
Okay. Hello.
Good night, everyone. I'm so happy to be here, especially on this day, International Women's Day. I wish everybody good health and well-being. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you. Thank you. So real quickly, we're going to go to what we call a speed networking.
Oh.
Right? Yeah. So what does that mean? I'm going to create groups and I'm going to give you some time in the group. Let's say 3 minutes, and I'm going to pull you back out and I'm going to shuffle you around again. All right. Are we ready? Don't run away. Everybody's like, no, you don't have to. It's just an, hey, how you doing? You don't need to be on camera. Relax. Okay. So here we go. Here we go. Let's do this.